Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about two settings that you can make with on your circular saw to help you both in terms of safety and also if you want to do a few specialized things, very minor specialized. Remember, this is more a construction tool than a fine woodworking tool, so it will be more difficult to be fully accurate, especially when it comes to cutting angles, which I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to do two settings. One is depth of cut, or how much of the blade is exposed below the base plate. And we're also going to talk about adjusting this so you can cut angles on the ends of pieces of wood. So the first setting is depth of cut, or how much of the blade is exposed below the wood. And as you can see here, or I hope you can see, there's just enough of the blade exposed below this 2x4 to cut all the way through. You would never use a circular saw to cut a groove into wood. It would not be safe. This is not the proper tool. You only use this tool to cut all the way through, so we're going to cut this 2x4 into pieces. So we do want to make that adjustment. It's best if you don't have too much blade exposed so that you don't do damage to other materials beneath or potentially cause a safety concern. So I'm going to use this thinner piece of wood here. I'm going to show you how to adjust how much of that blade is exposed beneath the wood. Okay, so you can see there's quite a bit of blade exposed below there. I want to raise that blade up, so I'm going to turn this around. There's a nut here that I'm going to loosen, and that allows this base plate to move up and down. So I prefer to do it by setting it on the material, moving the blade guard out of the way, raising my tool until I have the blade set where I want, just enough to cut through, and then I tighten that, and my tool is set to cut through this 3/4 inch thick piece of wood. The next setting that I'm going to make is I'm going to make an adjustment to cut an angle. So that's on the front of the tool here. I'm going to loosen that, and my base plate will rotate. So I can adjust it to the angle that I want. There's an arrow here. There's a different angled measurements here. So I'm going to set this to 45. My arrow points to the 45, and I tighten this down. So that's how I adjust for an angle, to cut with an angle, because remember what I said in that initial video when I was talking about the different parts of the saw. I always want my base plate to be sitting flat on the material that I'm cutting. So this sets up the blade so that if I ran it through this piece of wood, there would be an angle. I'm going to talk about this in more detail when I actually cut, which is going to be in the next video. I just wanted to show you those two adjustments. So, quick review. Loosen this. I can change the angle. Loosen this. And I can change how much of the blade is exposed below that base plate. Those are the two adjustments that you can make on a circular saw to modify how you're cutting. My next video, I will actually cut through different pieces of wood and show you how those settings actually work in practice. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you again soon in my next video.